Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing the speed build for our home that we will be using in the Decades Challenge. I did post the Create a Sim for our Decades Challenge a few days ago, so if you're interested you can go check that out. The video is already out. But this is the house that we'll be using. So I do want to let you guys know that I'm not a big builder. I'm not very good at it. And I don't spend a whole lot of time doing it. I'm usually one of the people that get a house off of the gallery, or I get in one of the homes EA already has in the world and I just add on to it as I need. With that said, I used Google for this one. I did look up and try to find a house for the 1890s, and that's exactly what I Googled, and that's what I went off of. I found an image that I thought I could kind of replicate, and that's kind of what we built. I do end up having to cut it basically in half the size, so you'll see that in a minute. I was going through the simoleons way too quickly. I do just start this family out with the regular starting funds. I don't add anything extra. You can choose to start the family off with a loan in the challenge that is accepted, but I didn't want to do that just because I've played this before on my own, and it's really difficult to get money at the beginning. Her husband Fred does work in the education career. He is starting out with a job, but when the decade changes, you know, he might not be so lucky. He might lose that job. So he really can't get too far in the career in 20 days. So I thought that starting them out with a loan was just going to be harder to pay back. I am starting to fit this house with roofs, and you'll see it was really difficult for me. I did try like 2 or 3, probably more than that, times. As I started placing the roof on the main house, not what I'm going to refer to as the tower, you see me messing with that here now, I started realizing that the house looked really weird. And I flipped the house around because I was like, okay, I'll put the roof on this house and it'll look great. I'll put, you know, a little wooden deck out the back, because some of the images that I had a lot of decks and columns and all of that stuff. But it just looked wrong. So I flipped the lot around, and as soon as I did, I was like, okay, yes, this is right. This is where the front door goes, and we're gonna have a little front porch with a little railing, and it's gonna look good. So I do flip the house around. It just looked so wrong to me. No matter how I did the roof, it just didn't look right until I flipped it around. I did want to use the curved walls. So the curved walls are new. They came out with, the high school years expansion pack, and I haven't used them yet. So I really wanted to use the curved wall. It wasn't in the Google images at all, but I just threw it in there, and I kind of regret it because it's kind of hard to build with. People have been experiencing the glitch that the walls just completely disappear on them with the curved walls. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm getting a weird glitch with the bed, and I don't know if it's because of the curved wall, because you'll see it towards the end. I do put the bed against the curved wall, so I don't know if that's why it's doing it. I don't know if anybody else has been having a glitch, but my Sims will basically stay in bed after they woohoo or something, and they won't be gaining any sleep energy. But they'll have a sleep emote above their heads like they are sleeping, and then they won't get out of bed half the time. So it's really annoying because they won't go actually in bed to sleep after that. Or the other end of that is they keep waking up. When I can get them to sleep, they wake up every like 2 or 3 hours. So it's very frustrating. I'm not sure if anyone else has experienced the glitches. I've also seen people build houses, like all circle homes with the walls, and as soon as you go into live mode, the whole house just disappears because it's all made out of curved walls. Again, I haven't tried that, so I don't know if anyone's experienced it, but I've seen that everywhere, and it's kind of crazy. I do mess with the elevation. I don't really ever mess with this when I'm playing on my own just for fun, so I thought, why not give it a try. It does make placing items hard though, because you can't place things on like a hill. It has to be flat. So I do run into that a little bit, but I fix it and I do make it work. That's why I don't do the whole lot. So I just kind of raise the front of it just a little bit so it's not all even and flat and boring. I'm kind of considering now, I didn't do it before, but because we do actually have off the grid latrate on this home, they need to gather water. And the pond or the water where they go to gather is also a fishing spot in the world, but it takes them a while to walk there. And if they're doing it, twice or 3 times a day, while he's at work, a lot of the times it's Ruth doing it. So I thought about maybe later, I didn't do it, but I thought about maybe putting a pond in the backyard. I don't know, because I wanted kind of like, a little farm when they have money, some chickens and cows and all of that. But I don't know. I don't know if there'll be room for a pond. I don't know if that would kind of be considered cheating because it would be on their lot and they could fish whenever they want. I don't know. But it's something we could always add later on if we wanted to. I don't think the terrain tools don't really cost anything. So that's why I thought, is it cheating if we do it? Because it doesn't cost them anything to do it. You'll also see here, so I struggled really bad with the windows. I didn't like any of them. I didn't like the ones I ended up choosing to use either. I just couldn't find anything that matched what I was seeing in the images that really fit with the time period. I felt like they would have a glass window because this one doesn't even have any window to it. It's just, like a wooden frame with a hole. And I thought that was way too early, even before the 1890s. So I do end up choosing one that has glass and some like shutters or something to it. But I don't pick anything with a lot of color. So this is really a dull build with a lot of wood and a lot of stone. There's like really no color to it. On the inside I use the same wallpaper because it's just wood and stone. So I figured the inside of the house wouldn't be painted like red or white or anything like that. It would probably just be the same. But yeah, so I don't like the windows here. I do end up putting, just so I can see in the house, some lights. I do remove them, but the inside, I was struggling on where to make a room because I felt like the layout was very odd with the curved wall. I couldn't really create like a bathroom corner. You can't actually have an indoor plumbing, so I do end up building a little outhouse off to the side because they can't have an indoor toilet. They can have a bathtub inside, which I thought was kind of strange, but they don't have a toilet. So I do add on an outhouse, but the corner where the curved wall is, I couldn't really use it for anything. I couldn't place kitchen cabinets on it because they don't look right at all. They don't fit to the wall. They don't fit to each other seamlessly. You can definitely tell. I would have had to move objects to get them to fit right. The bathroom, that would have been really awkward and really tiny, so I didn't put that in the corner. What I ended up doing is I ended up putting the bed against the wall, which I mentioned before. I don't know if it caused it to glitch out or what, but if you're wondering why I'm using so much wood items in this build, it's because it's what it calls for in the rules. The rules really say, only wooden furniture during this time. They don't really have upholstery. They don't really have many items. So that's why the house is pretty blank. There's no color. There's nothing on the walls. They just have some larger furniture items, a couple kitchen counters. And I did that kind of on purpose too, because I do put a wood working bench in the backyard for Fred. So I do plan on him building a lot of their furniture, and that's also because I kind of ran out of money. So that he kind of needs to build the furniture. So we'll have things like a kitchen table, chairs, and that sort of thing. I thought it would be nice too because you can create statues. I don't really use the word working table in my normal gameplay, but you can use it to build statues and stuff. So he could end up decorating the house and they would have more stuff in it. The one thing I do regret, though, is I didn't have enough money for a fireplace. So they are going to be so cold when it hits wintertime. We start out in the springtime, but once it starts getting colder in the winter, we're going to need to save up. They're going to need a fireplace for sure, because they're going to have no electricity otherwise. I don't think we're going to have a decade change that quickly, because you have to wait 20 sim days. So we're going to go through a week of spring, a week of summer, and then all of fall. So before the decade changes to 1900, and I don't know if they get, I can't remember if they get electricity back or not. I really like this stool. I wanted to have some color in the house, and I was like, okay, they would definitely have plants. You know, they could go out and pick some flowers and put them on the stool here and have like a little lamp with a candle in it. I don't keep that though, because the light for it, the light source was like nothing. It was so dim, it didn't give actually almost any functionality. It was so dark in the bathroom that I had to replace it. I don't put any candles on the walls, especially above the bathtub. I thought that would have been a really bad idea. And it was kind of at this point when I had the wash tub out that I realized, oh my gosh, I have the tower. I'm gonna refer to it as the tower back here, and I have no door connecting it because the bathtub was in the way. So I completely forgot, and I wanted to be able to use this space since we created the space. So I just add some stairs and a door to it. I do throw on a window, and I put the wash tub back there. And I figured, you know, this is where Ruth can wash her clothes and her family's clothes. It can be its own separate room, its own separate entrance. And I do put the clothesline somewhere close nearby, so it's not as long as a walk for her. So when she's done cleaning the laundry, she can just go put it away on the clothesline. That's all that would really fit in here, honestly, too. So I kind of put it in a bad spot with the bathroom back there, but I couldn't put the bathroom at the front of the house. It's like you walk in and, oh, hello, there's a bathroom in your face. That would have been really weird. So you see me struggling too right here with placing the clothesline, all the red around it. It's because I raised the lot. So because I was playing with the terrain tool, it's kind of slightly elevated in certain spots. So I couldn't build on it in certain areas, which is fine. I did put it a little bit farther away than I would have liked. I tried to keep it undercover because it's very annoying to me how the clothesline breaks every single day in The Sims. And you can never get dry clothes because of it. And when it's storming outside, thunderstorming and raining, somehow your clothes still manage to dry even though they're outside. That's never made sense to me. But so I tried to keep it undercover by putting it on the side of the house underneath the roof, and I couldn't because of the terrain. So I just kind of plopped it out in the middle. I didn't put anything over it. I didn't have enough money to put it undercover. So we'll see how long it takes to break. But that was part of the challenge is to, you know, if you have the pack, to definitely do the laundry. Because as they start having a growing family, she's going to have more and more to do. But at the beginning, she's really not going to have much to do. And the reason why I actually use the nifty knitting and the crochet, cross stitch, is for Ruth's benefit. It's to give her something to do. Because at the beginning, she's not going to have kids right off the bat until they can conceive one. So there could be, you know, a whole week or more goes by when she really is just at home waiting for him to get back from work with nothing really to do. I thought this gave her the opportunity to build a skill and maybe make some money on the side. Now the rules said nothing about those two items. It didn't say I couldn't use them. It didn't say I could use them. So I'm just taking that as, yeah, they probably could do that. They probably had, you know, needle and thread. How else would they have made their clothes? So I just went ahead and said, yep, she's doing it. This is what she's gonna do. It's her side hustle. I do change the kitchen cabinets too. Everything was just looking way too light. The wood floors were very light. The walls were very light. The kitchen stove, the wood burning stove, was like really, really light. So I just made it all darker. I figured it would be maybe looked a little bit more worn, or I don't know. It was just all too light, and I didn't want to change the flooring because I had been messing with it previously, and I didn't like it because it made the whole house look too small. So that's why I changed the kitchen cabinets. The sink is the same one I used in the bathroom. I don't know if they would have had two sinks or just one or what, but that's the closest sink type that I could get. I don't know what they would have looked like, to be honest. But it kind of just looks like, you know, a little stand with a bin on the top attached to it. The rules did say there's no indoor plumbing, but they didn't say anything other than the toilet had to be in a different part of the house. So I don't know, maybe they bring the water in from outside and they store it in the sink and they wash dishes in water that's been sitting in there all day and there's no actual faucets. I don't know. Or they go take the bucket off the top and that's what they do. But I am placing the bed, so it was really hard to place on this wall. I got it as close as I could. I did want some nightstands, but I quickly realized I'm out of money. So that's why I start selling everything. I was trying to get some simoleons desperately, just to see if I could get some bedside tables. I don't end up getting bedside tables. I don't have enough money for that. They need to be able to get some food when we start the game. So I just kind of left it as is, and the only thing I add is a modded cookbook that allows them some extra recipes. But yeah, this is the final build, final project, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will jump into some gameplay in a couple of days. So I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you so much for joining me and spending your time with me watching this. Bye!